We have a quorum. Please call the roll.
Harry Adams. Brittany Branham. Here. Tim Cooley.
Here.
David Gerhardt. Here. Mike Lafferty.
Here.
Steve Henry.
Here.
Roy Roberts.
Here.
Don Willis.
Here.
Tim, you do introduction?
Be honored. Let's pray. Our precious Heavenly Father, we thank you for such a beautiful day we've had the last few days. Lord, we thank you for the weather over the last few months where we've been very fortunate, as some others may have not been. Lord, I ask that you be with us as we try to make smart, knowledgeable, concrete decisions for our little hometown. I ask that you protect all of our city people that live here and those that work here. I ask all this in your precious name. Amen.
Amen.
Y'all please join me in Ruth Hatch from stand the flag and pledge allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We have visitors up next. We have any visitors that wants to make any comments, ask any questions? Patrick, you and Aaron are it. I mean, pretty much as visitors.
I want to thank you guys for the terrific job you're doing in this community.
Thank you, Patrick. We appreciate that. We really do. Need approval of the, I'm going to move on so nobody can rebut your comment. We need approval of the April 28th.
So moved.
I have a motion
Second.
and a second. All in favor? All opposed? I need, we've looked at the bills. If some of you have, we need approval of the bills.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
I have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Unfinished business. We have second reading of ordinance number 04-2017.
An ordinance adopting the City of Prestonsburg, Kentucky annual budget for fiscal year to July 1, 2017 through June 30, 2018 by estimating revenues and resources and appropriated funds for the operation of city governments.
We can move on that now, Ken.
We can move on that now. Second reading.
So moved.
I have a motion.
Second.
Second. I have a second. Any discussion? Need no discussion? Will you call the roll?
Brittany Branham. Tim Cooley.
Yeah.
You didn't say it.
David Gerhardt.
Yes.
Mike Lafferty.
Yes.
Steve Henry.
Yes.
Roy Roberts.
Yes.
Don Willis.
Yes.
That's all we have before it. We do have, the next ordinance changing it is down, right, Michael?
Should
Okay. All right. Unfinished business, there's some things that I need to report here in unfinished business. One is the old West Prestonsburg Bridge. We've done a lot of work on that, and there's been a lot of follow-up on it. We just recently had a break on it that we think we found an end that might be able to get some work done on it. Either we'll get some work done on it, or we'll have to take it down before it falls in the river. I mean, it's literally to that point. But we think we have found the source that is going to make funds available so we can get this done. That's just to let y'all know. Next thing is Maze Branch Phase 1 is now in place. Of course, y'all know Maze Branch was the one that was waiting for review in FEMA, in national headquarters, not state level. State level had been approved. So they've approved Phase 1, so we'll be moving into that. That's an engineering phase. We'll be working on that here soon. Probably putting out some bids and stuff, and some asking for some proposals, RFPs. So we are moving in on that. The next is the $1.9 million that we asked for the trails town, the railroad trail. We know that it is in Washington D.C. We didn't know where it was at. We got a request on Monday of this week asking for some additional information that they need to be able to be understanding of what we're doing. We've got the information together. We're going to put it in an organized manner tomorrow, send it back to them. So hopefully we'll know something about that in the next little bit. I think I told y'all the last time that we spoke about it was it'll be a couple of weeks. Well, I got the reply. They want some additional information. It's available. It's easy to give them. We'll take care of it. So that's pretty exciting stuff right there in itself. You know, that shows the move that the City of Prestonsburg is moving forward, and that's a great thing. So now we'll go down to new business. First reading of ordinance number 05-2017.
An ordinance of the City of Prestonsburg, Kentucky, amending ordinance number 2-2016 to reflect changes in the annual budget for fiscal year July 1, 2016 through June 30th, 2017, based on revenues and resources, and appropriating funds for the operation of city government.
What's happened there basically is when we discussed this early on, instead of having a line item budget, we had line items as a worksheet, but our budget was a total amount for each individual department. Some monies had to be moved around. We had one department that came in over budget. We had to move some funding around, and it worked out well. It was the fire department. The fire chief's here to ask any questions. I will say that of the funding that they had, it all was maintenance related on the vehicles.
Well, we knew that.
We had some things happen. We now have a maintenance plan in place, and they're out, chief.
Yes, sir.
And we're not gonna have this problem next year, are we, chief?
No, sir.
If it seems like I'm being grouchy with him, I promise you I'm not. It's been sort of funny when he walks in my office with his hat in his hand and says, "What's broke down?" So, in no way is I being mean to him. It became sort of a running joke for a while. But we do have everything up and running now, and we're working on having a one-stop shop do it all. It's a local diesel mechanic who's also pump certified, so that he could keep us running and keep us. He's been very inexpensive compared to most estimates we've had so far from these experts. So we'll still monitor that, but we'll keep that in place. So pretty much that's all it is. That's the biggest one. The rest of it is just a matter of moving those funds from different areas into the fire department. Is there anything else, Michael, that is of note on those?
No, you notice that the income went up, so did the expenses. There's certain things you really can't budget for, like grant funding or federal funds that come in. So this adjustment accounts for a lot of those that we weren't for sure of when the budget was originally passed this time last year. And so you'll see those on that sheet as well, but that covers the bulk of it.
And we'll have to do it again next year.
Yeah, I have to do it again next year.
Hopefully we do have to do that again
Yeah.
next year.
That's just the way it works.
Hopefully we do, because it would be outstanding if we have to do that again.
Yes.
So, there will not be any discussion on it other than what he's made you aware of personally. And we'll vote on it and have a full discussion at the next meeting, because we have to do it twice. Housing reappointment, Judy Calhoun. I made Judy Calhoun, we made the appointment for her a year ago. She does an outstanding job. She's always there for the meetings. She's interested in what's going on, and she has done an excellent job for what we need there. And I'm going to request that we pick her to reappoint.
I'll make a motion to reappoint.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Next, we have approval of resolution number 05-2017.
Resolution of the City of Prestonsburg, Kentucky, approving and authorizing an assistance agreement with the Kentucky Rural Water Finance Corporation for the purpose of financing a project for the city's combined and consolidated water, sewer, and natural gas system.
All right, I need a motion.
So moved.
I need a second.
Yeah.
Discussion. I would like to, Eddie, if you don't mind, I'd like to do a quick explanation, and then if they have any questions, they direct them to you. Is that okay?
Absolutely.
Basically what this is, of course, you all know that we've been in negotiations with Southern Water for quite some time. It's went before the Public Service Commission, and they have approved the sale of 1,800, give or take, water customers. About 1,800 water.
That'd be combined water and sewer. Water, about 1,200, and sewer's another 300 to 400
Okay.
right now.
What it also does is we will be taking control or making an asset of the Wayland waste treatment plant. There's one at Eastern,
Yes.
and then the one that we're now calling Big Sandy, which is at
Tim Betsy Lane.
Yeah. The reason that we're calling it Big Sandy is we had funding available for a new waste treatment plant, which is going to take the pressure and take some capacity off of this one down here. The way this actually works out better for us because, and correct me if I'm wrong, Eddie, and I'm not trying to steal your thunder at all. I'm just
You're
trying to make sure I'm with you. we're gonna turn waste from Doyle back that way to that, particular waste treatment plant.
Actually, it'll be from Allen back that way.
From Allen back that way, and what that does, it's gonna free our capacity up here, and I wanted to do this because I wanna compliment, city utilities, their employees, Eddie, their commission, the whole 9 yards, because the fact that they're able to do this, and they've already got on board with it as much as they have, we will be able to expand our waste treatment plant up Abbott, up Stevens Branch. We'll be able to rework that on Stonecrest, what needs to be, and there's one more area. And
Emma South, Emma toward Allen will all be included now in the sewer system.
So that's exciting news that we're with waste treatment out there with them, and it's gonna be, it's a great situation. So if anyone has any questions, straight up, and this is for financing for them. Eddie's crunched the numbers quite often, because I know he's been asking about every angle there is so far.
17 and a half months, huh?
Yeah, so if y'all have any questions, please feel free to ask. That's why Eddie came here today, so he can answer any questions.
It's easy to do when you're top dog in the state already.
Feels good. Thank you.
And say it's a mess too.
It's kind of tough.
I thought it might be.
I don't think you can beat the staff we've got, so.
No, can't.
If there's no other questions for it, Tim alluded to the fact that we were, and this is water, right? Water treatment, not waste treatment.
The Prestonsburg City Utilities water treatment plant was recently named the #1 water treatment plant in the state through the Kentucky Wastewater and Water Treatment Plant Operators Association.
That's pretty awesome. I mean, it really is. It's awesome that we're in that good shape.
Yeah, I commend Don Compton and his staff highly for that. I doubt there's one that is run any better in the state, so I definitely second what the people across the state have designated as #1.
It's good to get that, get noticed for something in East Kentucky. It's not a negative, especially when it comes to drinking water.
Even with the drinking water, I mean, you can, if you get alerts, like I do from these other areas across the state, they're boiling water like crazy.
Yeah, especially on this.
A lot of trash.
I do want to elaborate a little on the amount of funding here. What you have there is included in that 3.645 million there is the funding of 2.14 million out of that is actually what will be paid to Southern and on behalf of Southern because of 2 bond issues that they have that we will be paying off. The remainder will be the investment in our system we've had to make this deal come through. And then the remainder of the funding will be infrastructure improvements we'll have to make in those 2 areas that we're taking. And the beauty of it is that the assets, customer, and revenue that we will be assuming will fully cash flow these active 2 bond issues that we'll be having to have for the transition.
One other thing, any loans that we got, I think it's through KIA that we got those loans, they were like 75% of the principal was forgiven, or 25% of the principal was forgiven, and we got it for like 0.75.
Well, on this particular round of funding, this is a whole new round of funding. There'll be more of a sale of bonds. The sale of bonds be backed by the revenue of the system, as you'll see in the resolution here, and backed by the revenue of the additions. It's actually, to be specific, what they're being backed by.
The funding I was talking about for the additional, their expansion projects.
Good point raised. The 3 sewer treatment or sewer collection systems that the mayor referred to earlier, all 3 of those qualified for principal forgiveness and a 0.75 interest rate, which is near free money.
I would like to speak on that because of the quality of work they've done and the stuff that's been happening. We walked into the meeting and they said, "This is what we're going to give you."
Yeah,
we had no discussion at that point.
We have the luxury of receiving calls lots of times when it's time for a new round of funding, especially through Kentucky Infrastructure Authority, KIA. We have the luxury of them. They will call us and ask us if we have a need for funds for that funding round. So it works really well for us. Most of the time, we do have a project here or there, and that qualifies for that type of funding. It's quite a thing to have, at least available.
It's a big feather.
Yeah.
No further discussion? I have a motion, I have a second. I think with the resolution, we can do it to a regular vote. We don't have to have a roll call. All in favor? All opposed? I'll sign for you right after the meeting. I think
Thank
you
you all.
sign
I
out.
appreciate the support you all give us too. I really do.
Okay. All right, we'll get that signed for you right after the meeting. Eddie.
Okay.
All right, next, resolution Kentucky Wire right of way. What this is Kentucky, has everybody seen the vehicles from Indiana? They've been out hanging wire all over town. That's Kentucky Wire. That's considered the middle mile that they're doing. They're doing it through the state, contract the state of Kentucky. Appalachian Wireless, I think, is ultimately the contractor that is hanging that wire for them. We have a piece of property at the Mountain Arts Center, for people, a lot of people who wasn't aware. We also own the property on the other side of the river from the Mountain Arts Center. They need to do two things. One, they need to bury a line in there, and two, they need to run a line across our property on the poles. We discussed this early on in the broadband thing, that we wouldn't charge them a fee or anything, that we would approve it for them. They have a right of way and easement that they need for me to sign off on. I just need for y'all to approve the resolution that I will be able to sign off on this easement so they can hang it and bury it.
Sure. So I'll make that.
Motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? All right, and all this will be done with Jennifer okay, so.
Her blessing.
Yeah, her blessing, yes. All right, we discussed that ad hoc trail committee, and I told you all I'd have some names together. I have some names here, I have a copy of them. We're going with 7 people. 2 of the representatives on the board may be sort of dynamic, maybe a different person next time, but one will be a Corps of Engineer personnel, one will be a Department of Parks personnel, probably Trinity or Julian, possibly Rodney Gardner at any given time. But who I'd like to have is, and this is because of their involvement and because they all have a little bit of a different look at things. One might be a more extreme rider, one might ride and yet they paddle, or, it covers all of our trails, recreational trails, not just the mountain bike trails. Got Josh Turner, Bo Spurlock, Timbo Branham, Karen Stapleton, Ryan Wagner, and then the other 2 slots will be filled by a representative from the Corps of Engineers, Department of Parks. I said we was gonna do this as an ad hoc meeting because they're basically gonna have to determine their own mission, they're gonna have to determine their own plan. Then we'll submit an ordinance and make it into a full-fledged 100% board that will take control of our recreational trails.
You gonna have any council members on?
I looked into that, and I don't think we can put a council member. We can have a council member attend the meetings and stuff and be a part of it, but I don't think we can put one on there.
Say Brittany. Brittany would be
Brittany will be involved. We've already discussed this, so.
Okay.
All right, that being said, I need a motion if everybody approves those.
Sure.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor? All opposed? So we now have a ad hoc.
Josh Turner.
Yeah. That's all I have. We do need to go into executive session, discuss some business. Does anybody on the floor have anything you want to say or do before we, yes?
Just for those who know, we got submitted today, the FP&S grant, fire safety.
Yes.
Big Sandy Ed just submitted that today to FEMA. It will be for $285,500. It's for the purchase of fire extinguishers, smoke detectors, CO2 monitors, as well as hearing impaired smoke detectors for the residents of the city.
Yeah, that's outstanding.
It
Is there
also-
a match on that?
5%.
I think it's worth 5% to get that much.
And it also includes a fire extinguisher training system. You can use water or infrared, and that's for the fire department to take out to businesses, nursing homes, schools, whoever, to provide the training.
Outstanding. We've been very fortunate to get some of those. One other thing before somebody makes a motion to go into executive session. We have a scam going on, and we know it's a scam because they call our city attorney. And identifies herself as a fireman that works for Prestonsburg.
Oh.
And Ben tried to convince her that they knew her, that she knew them. Long story short is, if you get a call from someone representing themselves as the city of Prestonsburg, one is we want to use 35 or 861010 and talk to that person, or they can't tell you when that person will be on shift. It's a scam. If we're gonna do anything, we'll have one of our people there with them. That's just let everybody know. Donna, I want you to call.
There's a lot of that happening too. They've learned how to mask numbers now too. So.
Yeah.
Well, this one, I think, was a probable business they were hoping to have the city get behind, and they were starting it. But they misrepresented themselves, and we are not selling fireman calendars.
The misunderstanding we got, the fact that they were representing themselves as a fireman that does not work here really bothered me, because one, it was an unprofessional call, very unprofessional. And the second was, our people don't need, if our people can't go knock on the door and ask for something, we don't need to be doing it. Need a motion to an executive session.
Done.
I have a I need to go in for, let's just get started here. 61.810 subsection 1, subsection B, which is real estate and business. And it'll all be real estate and business tonight, so. I need a motion.
So
A motion, need a second. All in favor? John, excuse us, we'll go on. I have a motion to come out of executive second and a second. All in favor? All opposed? It was an informational meeting for previous real estate and business that we discussed in other executive session meetings. We don't have anything, unless anybody has anything out there for us. If there's nothing else, I need that motion.
You got it.
I have a motion to adjourn, I have a second, all in favor? All opposed? Thank y'all so much for changing the meeting date and be able to come out and accommodate us. If this develops tomorrow and the next couple of days, like I think it will, we will be back in next week to sign off on it. Thank you all.